Hi, my name is Kim Zhao, and I'm the owner and founder of Brave Embodiment Counseling. And today I would like to speak with you about trauma and how trauma can be held in the body and how you can be compassionate with yourself when it comes to trauma as it comes back up in your daily life. A lot of my clients are not totally aware of how pervasive trauma can be on a daily basis. Many of my clients experience healing in our work together that allows them to have freedom and a lightness that they didn't know they could have because they've been living with this darkness and pain, limitations, negative beliefs, all kinds of negative limiting factors that make them feel stuck and heavy and unhappy. They've been living with that their entire lives. So to have this experience of all of a sudden having this like freedom and lightness, it's very intense and different for them, and they just report having this experience that they've never even believed they could have. So my work is to help you understand what trauma is and how it shows up in your daily life, and then to help you heal from it. Today we're just going to focus on what is trauma, how does it show up in your daily life, and how can you be a little bit more compassionate towards yourself when it does show up. So trauma in my personal definition, which may be very different from others, is any experience that you've had that is currently still affecting you in a negative way. So it could be something as simple as like some little kid named Joey pushed you in the schoolyard in front of all your friends when you were in second grade, and you still to this day have an anxiety experience when you're in groups of people and you feel attacked in some way, and your body all of a sudden will get this surge of anxiety out of nowhere in a seemingly safe environment, but perhaps there's somebody that you perceive as being somewhat threatening, and all of a sudden you're like anxiety attack, and it feels like it's completely out of your control, and your body's just like going off into some response that you don't want it to, and you just feel totally unhappy about. So normal. It may seem like an insignificant experience, but for whatever reason, your body has held on to it because it was important in that moment in your history, and it's still affecting you now. So it could be something as significant as a major trauma like a car accident or a sexual assault, or it could be something very simple like somebody on the playground was being a bully once, or like your mom tends to be a little bit more critical than she should be, or whatever the thing is, perhaps feels insignificant to you, but your body believes that it's significant. So unfortunately, we don't have a choice over what our body and our brain decides is a trauma, and it just is. So all of these experiences that we have when we're younger, oftentimes very, very young, still will come back to bite us as adults if we haven't done healing around it. And a lot of times the experiences that come up will feel like anxiety attacks or depression or rage. It could be any of those extreme responses, or it could be like fluttering in your belly, or it could be tension in your shoulders, or it could be any number of sensations in your body. It can also come up as a negative belief system that feels like we're like stuck. We're just stuck in this negative thinking pattern, like everyone's out to get me, or I'm a failure and I'm never going to be good at this job, or I'm never going to find a partner that's good and treats me right, or I'm never going to find the job that suits me. It could be so many different negative belief systems or sensations in your body, emotional responses. It could be sadness, fear, frustration. So any number of those responses could be happening on any of those three levels: the thought patterns, body reactions, or emotions. When these things come up and we feel out of control of them, which we often are, so please be kind to yourself around that. We often are very much out of control of these reactions, no matter how hard we try to control them in a thinking way. Our body and our emotional brain will take over, and it's very common, especially with more significant trauma. The more significant the trauma, the more significant the responses, and the more difficult it is to get yourself out of it. So, that being said, let's say one day you feel triggered by a coworker. Maybe a coworker is talking about you behind your back, and you all of a sudden feel very scared for your job, and you get stuck in this like intense anxiety. And instead of choosing the adult response, which may be to confront this person and say like, hey, I hear you have some complaints about me or like concerns, and just wondering if we could talk it out. Instead of going to that adult mature response, we go into this like fearful, fear for safety, or fear for your worthiness, fear for your stability, security, whatever it is. You get stuck in that. I want everybody to understand that when you get stuck, there's a reason, and it's not so easy to get out. And our job as therapists is to help you understand how, help you heal so that you don't get triggered. In the meantime, it's so important for you to be compassionate with yourself and kind, because in moments like these where you're really struggling, the worst possible thing you can do is then beat yourself up for struggling. So compassion, kindness for yourself when trauma comes up. What you can do to actively help yourself in these situations is to make notes about the experience, bring them into an awesome therapist that can help you heal. Note those times that you feel stuck and you're like, I don't want to be responding like this because I'm an adult, but I can't help it. And I am having this thing that I'm like, I don't know how to get out of it. That's our job. That's where we come in. So, jot it down, write down what you're struggling with, bring it in, and we will help you heal so that you don't have these triggers coming up anymore. Or maybe the triggers still come up to some extent, but you know how to manage them. Those are the two things that we help our clients with, both coping mechanisms and healing. And with those two items in place, you can really move on from any sort of trauma that you've experienced. So, I think that's it for today. Any questions, feel free to shoot me an email and let me know, or call, text me. My number is 240-480-0152, and my email is kim@bravecounseling.com. If you're interested, check out some more of our posts and more about our practice. It's www.bravecounseling.com. Thank you for your time today, and happy healing. Take care.